Welcome to Secular Soup. Stay tuned for real talk about atheism, feminism, politics, parenting, and whatever the fuck else Amy and Amy want to talk about, because this is their show. And get ready for a whole lot of motherfucking profanity.
You want to hear a secret?
I won't tell anybody. Go ahead. If I sit next to you, I'm going to get gonorrhea. It's going to jump into me. Just two ladies hanging out.
Is it okay for me to make fun of his neck waddle if I make fun of my own neck waddle?
I'm not sure.
That's a real ethical conundrum.
Would you know if you were born a lizard person, or can you be like adopted into the...
I think you know.
We're such professionals.
We really are.
Buckle up, bitches. It's time to have some soup.
I'm Amy with a Y.
I'm Amy with an I.
And we're just two blueberries floating in a bowl of tomato soup. And you are listening to episode 33. We are so excited. Yay.
We are almost older than Jesus was when he died.
Yeah, and I feel like we're married at this point. Like,
are we not?
And I are just, we've never met.
Doesn't this make it common
you're still
law?
Catfishing. I think that's
33 episodes equals, is that paper? I don't know.
I think that's Texas law. I don't know how it works in Minnesota or with long distance relationships.
Texas doesn't recognize common law marriage. If you get divorced or you move out, they're like, fuck you. You don't get anything unless there's kids involved. It's basically like, fuck you. So you could be with someone for 20 something years. Well, not married or anything, but you could be with someone for 20 something years. You have property together. You have all that stuff. If you end the relationship and like, I guess it would be a property split, but if you're renting and whatever, the state doesn't recognize your rights to anything. It doesn't matter. Like they don't care.
A bunch of bullshit. Oh my God.
Family
values.
Texas doesn't care. No, they didn't get married, so they were just living in sin, so it didn't count.
Yeah. They didn't have a piece of paper, so
it didn't count.
Tonight, we are going to be talking about birth control and...
Tonight, I'm divorced officially.
Yay!
Let's say that.
Yeah, so now you need to get all the info on the birth controls so that you don't have 75
I have my
more
tubes
kids
tied.
Oh, well,
and
I guess that...
prayer. That's my main method is prayer.
Do you use the healing crystals?
Yeah, I just shove everything up inside of me and no one can even get there, so it doesn't really matter. I got my shit together this week and put together a YouTube channel. Not that we're, video recording quite yet because I'm just waiting for Skype to get their shit together. I'm going to order so much makeup, so I'm just going to look like, what was the chick on the televangelist show all the time?
Tammy Faye Baker.
I'm going to look like Tammy Faye Baker every single week.
And I'm going to look like a boring drudge because I'm going to be wearing my bathrobe.
I'm actually not going to commit to that because I work until 7:30, so that's not going to happen.
So yeah, eventually we'll be getting our YouTube game together, but I do finally have the channel set up. And I was looking, as I was uploading our audio episodes to put on the YouTubes, we've got all of our back episodes on there. And you can go through and see how many people have viewed your videos.
What?
And
that's awesome.
I didn't expect anyone to look at any of these. I just put them there so they'd be there. But our episode number 12, which is called Let's Talk About Sex Education and How Bad It Is, has been viewed 5 times now. And my theory is that it's just because the word sex
in it
is in the title. So you people on YouTube are a bunch of fucking perverts, man.
They're 10-year-olds. They're all 10-year-olds.
It's a goddamn podcast where we talk about sex education.
The word education, I'm going to hope
in the title.
That's where, okay, I'm going to be the more, I'm going to be silver lining and hope that they were Googling or looking up the word education.
Oh, that
and
could
not
be it. Yeah.
looking up the word sex.
And somehow landed on our episode about sex education. That makes total sense. Right. Or maybe they were kids looking for accurate sex education and maybe they learned something by, I have no idea. My guess is that they clicked on it and went, oh, this isn't what I signed up for, and clicked right off of it again. So
boring.
But yeah, the other one I just noticed when I was checking it, our episode Don't Shove Crystals There got 1 view. So somebody watched that one.
That one is funny.
So yeah, that reminded me of the
I now have favorites and least favorites. So yeah,
I do too.
That one's pretty funny. Our brand X one is still like one of my favorites because
it is wonderful.
That one,
I love that one.
Fun.
That was so fun to do. Speaking of Brand X podcast, I finally took John's advice and got on the stupid Twitter machine. So we now have a Twitter account. You can find us at Secular Soup on the dumb Twitter. It's there. See, I knew what would happen. This is why I had put it off so long. I knew what would happen is that I'd start this account and then I'd constantly be staring at it. And then all of my self-worth would be measured by how many likes and retweets I got. And it's happening. It's killing my self-esteem.
Well, apparently my gentleman caller started a feud with you. Or he says he was.
He did.
He did? I'm not on there.
Well, no, he didn't really start a feud.
He volunteered to facilitate our feud.
I mean, I haven't seen him facilitating anything.
Let me send you some of his feudy stuff. It's funny.
Okay, good. Well, I did at least get my brother to follow us on Twitter. Still hasn't listened to any of our episodes. And it took him a while to go ahead and hit that follow button, but I finally fucking badgered him into it. So anyway,
so
updates,
your brother's an asshole, right?
Pretty much, yeah. He's just a dick. But hey, at least he follows us on the Twitters now. So now we're on Twitter and YouTube. Go onto those social platforms and look up Secular Soup and you will find us. I also, on the YouTube channel, made a little playlist with all of our guest appearances. So if you want to see what we look like when we're talking and emoting and using our hand gestures, there are 2 videos on our Soupy Guest Spot playlist where you can see that. So anyway, something to tide you over until we actually start video recording this podcast.
We're serious.
Yeah. Anyway, birth control. So,
I just use my personality as birth control.
Has it been working out well for you?
I mean, I have kids.
I mean, you've only got like 75 kids. So,
Right.
I only have 2 because I've only had sex twice in my life. So that's how I ended up
today,
with 2 kids.
Or
no, once was like 15 years ago and then once was like 9 years ago. So isn't that how sex works?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've just for procreation. I wanted to have a kid, and so I had the sex the one time, and yeah. Now this week I had to go get my IUD put in because I found out that I was a year overdue for having that done.
And I'm going to tell you my IUD horror story after the fact because I was not going to tell you beforehand. Because that's just a dick move on my part if I tell you beforehand.
It's my second IUD, so I've had one, but the nice thing is my nurse practitioner told me, she's like, well, hey, at least this is probably the last one you're going to need. So I thought, gee, thanks for the reminder about how fucking old I am. No, my nurse practitioner is awesome. I have been seeing her since I was 16. She used to work at the Planned Parenthood in town. So when I was 16, she's the person I saw. Well, they do let ladies be nurse
because
practitioners.
They're nurses. Do they have to wear
she's
the
not
hats?
A doctor. No, she's not a doctor. She's a nurse practitioner.
Do they have to have pin curls?
I don't think so.
I think it's strongly recommended though with the hats. I've seen
makes sense.
The midwives and stuff.
Call the midwife. Yeah, we should start a petition to make them wear uniforms so that we can identify them as not doctors.
I like the handmaid's wings. I think that would be appropriate for
that would be cool. And it would be really funny to see when you're going in to get your pap smear.
But it really is not practical, but it would just be entertaining for the patients.
Yeah. So
especially all the dudes.
I emailed my regular lady doctor, who's not a nurse practitioner, to get some Valium.
She's the one that was allowed
to
be a doctor.
Just the one, yeah. Mm-hmm. And she hooks me up with some Valium when I need to get this type of thing done because I am a baby and I do not like getting
pelvic. Could have just called me. I have a drawer full.
Oh God, mail it to me, bitch.
Oh yeah,
I can use it for I can just blitz out on Valium.
Yeah, I'm gonna mail you
mail it. It's fine. I don't think there's any laws against that or anything. I don't know.
Really? No federal laws about sending prescription medication via federal mail over state lines, right? There's nothing.
I don't think so. No.
Okay, cool. Then I'll just send it. It's already in the mail.
Yeah. So
I'm sending it from my P.O. box too, just to be,
perfect. Just to be
legit.
safe.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine drive me to the clinic to see this nurse practitioner who I followed to 3 different clinics now because I can't quit her.
She's love her.
An amazing nurse practitioner. I love her. And she's kind of officially retired. She retired from the local clinic and now she is part of a group that founded this new family planning clinic in town that just opened. Right. And so now she kind of came out of retirement just to work at this clinic. So I'm like, yes, I found a loophole. I don't need to find a new nurse practitioner. So I showed up and I think I got the Valium dosage and timing kind of right. I should have probably taken it a little later to hit maximum, but it got me through the appointment. But yeah, it's not fun having an IUD put in or taken out.
Really, really not.
It's like getting punched in the uterus.
Yeah,
and
it's really not.
For me, anybody who's ever had a pap smear or pelvic exam done will know what a speculum is. And if you don't know what a speculum is, you should Google that and find out.
Google speculum porn.
Oh, yeah. Good idea. That makes me sick just thinking about. My uterus must be in a weird place because she had to keep readjusting it to like
back. I learned that.
Yeah. I think mine is too because she's like, I got to get it in the right spot. And then it hurt like a son of a bitch. Mm-hmm. And then afterwards, apparently, she said she accidentally pinched my cervix or something with part of the speculum. So I was bleeding afterwards. Yeah. So then it kind of looked like a crime scene. And she's like, it'll be fine. It's just, it'll go away quickly. Well, they like it if you're on like one of the first couple days of your period too. Well, since I've had one though, I've had one for 6 years now. You don't get a period anymore. So you just kind of show up whenevs. But that's the first time I bled for 16 weeks on my IUD. Well, the first time I got an IUD. So this is my second IUD. Because I had that first one I got. And it was supposed to control the hormones, but it just made me have more of a period. Like it didn't stop for 4 months. So Mirena is what I have. And when I got it, the first one 6 years ago, I had spotting for a couple of months and I almost had it taken out because it was just spotting. Like, are you fucking kidding me? But mine wasn't terrible. Solidly anemic. And I went to the doctor and I was like, pull it. Oh my God. I was like, pull it. You have to pull it. And so he pulled it because just the regular copper one works for me. That's fine. But anything that has hormones in it, and I should have known because I'm allergic to birth control. I am allergic to pregnancies because we've talked about my pregnancies before, how I my body freaks out. Yeah. Why the fuck would I get something inserted in me that has hormones in it? Well, that doesn't make any sense to me. But I was thinking because it's different and it's just, Well, it's not as I understand it. It's not quite the same level of hormones. It doesn't matter. My body lost its mind. And I think Jesus is telling you to stop having sex. Well, what happened was he pulled it out. And 3 weeks later, I was pregnant with my second kid. That's what happened. Oh, shit. Yeah, that's what happened with that one. So I have 2 boys. Mirena specifically is supposed to be a 5-year thing. And I vaguely, for some reason, I could have sworn I got it in 2013. And I hadn't gotten anything from the clinic saying like, hey, you should get this thing changed. And so I thought with all my other medical stuff going on, I've been it's super far down the list. Emailing my doctors. But I emailed my doctor and I'm like, can you check and see when this thing was put in? Because I think it's been 5 years. And they're like, yeah, it's been 6. You might want to go get that taken care of. Right. I'm like, shit. Dodged a bullet on that. Yeah, I had one that was put in crooked because mine tilts back. Oh. After my first one, I had one that was put in crooked, my first kid. And it was put in right after he was born. Well, the amount of time. Yeah. It was because my pregnancy sucked. And so they were like, you need some kind of permanent birth control because you can't do pills. You can't do birth control. Yeah. So they just did the regular copper one and it worked. But the nurse practitioner put it in and she did it wrong. And it ended up embedded in my cervix. Ugh. And it hurt so bad when they put it in, but I didn't realize that was wrong because it was the first time I'd ever gotten one. So I thought that it was supposed to hurt that bad. Yeah. And then I was really in a lot of pain for about 6 weeks, but I thought that was just normal. Right. God. So I moved and it was just there and I moved to Texas and I went to the doctor and I was like, I was having incredible cramping and bleeding randomly and all this stuff because I guess it had become grown over in parts. Oh no. I know. And then it was dislodging a little bit. So it was just a little bit at a time. It was just kind of bleeding and then it would stop for a while and then it would bleed and then it would stop for a while. And then it would get doubling over pains and cramping because it was moving. Oh, shit. So I went to this doctor and it was this new gynecologist that I'd never been to before because I just moved to Texas and someone in my church had recommended. And she seemed like she had a level head, so she would have a good doctor, And she sent me to this doctor. His name was Dr. Maxey, actually, which I thought was funny. And I giggled. In my head, I giggled. And I go at least he was a man. I mean, you're starting off good. Yeah. Let me tell you about this guy, though. So I walk in the room and he's wearing the green scrubs, which is fine. That means he's legit. He's a doctor. Right. Nobody can get those scrubs unless you're in the medical profession. So right. Yeah. He didn't do a sonogram to see where it was located. I told him I was having pain and he said, okay, well, he said, I can see the strings. Let me
remove it, and then we'll just talk about inserting another one. He didn't look at it at all.
Oh, no.
He started pulling on it, and it was lodged in.
God.
He put his foot up on the table and to brace himself and ripped it out of me.
Oh, my God.
What? Heard the tear. Yeah. I heard it.
Oh, shit.
It was so incredibly traumatizing. And I just, of course, I bled for like 3 weeks after that because it was so bad. And I never went back to him because fuck that. Well, and so I asked someone in my ward, because I was Mormon, and who had, the lady that I asked had only had one kid. And I asked someone who had 5 kids. And I said, who's your doctor? And she said, oh, I go to this man. He's a fertility specialist. He's amazing. He's super compassionate. I was with his mentor before he left the practice. He's amazing. And so I went to him, and he's still my doctor to this day. He's delivered my last 2 kids.
Oh, wow.
I went to him, and I told him what had happened, and he checked it out, and he was like, let's give your body some time to heal. He put in another IUD, and, it was fine. Wow. He put in the other one. It was fine. Everything was good until I said, hey, that's when I started bleeding because it was the Mirena. And so he pulled it, and I got pregnant with my second one. So he was there for me for my entire pregnancy. And then he was with me in between my kids also. And, but yeah, that was the most traumatic event. One of the top 5,
Jesus.
Probably one of the top 5 most traumatic events in my life was when I saw him put his foot up to brace himself. I was like, I'm not
going to lie. I'm surprised that you ever let anything go into your vagina ever again after that.
All the time, constantly, right?
I would have shut that shit down and been like, nope, nothing's ever touching this ever again.
He didn't go back in there for sure. But I looked over at my husband at the time. Now I can say that. I looked over at my husband, and I was just like, I had tears streaming. He was like, just let him get it out. Cause he knows what he's doing. I mean,
cause he's a man.
Now I know they have to do a fucking sonogram and see the location of it. He didn't do any of that. He just assumed it was just a normal retrieval. I was just being a bitchy, complaining woman.
Yep.
But no, I was intermittently bleeding because it was lodged into the side of my cervix. It had slipped down and it was lodged in.
Yeah. And when you're having pain like that, that's not normal.
No,
no.
I was doubled over with cramps.
Yeah. That's just awful.
It was
I can't even.
Horrifying. But now when people say, like when you were getting yours put in, and other people say, any IUD stories, I'm like, no, I'm not sharing my IUD story.
Because that's a pretty abnormal story.
Oh,
I mean,
but all of my stories are abnormal. Because,
that's true. Because you're abnormal.
Right. Well, you read like the drug inserts, and it says, the very bottom, it says, 0.275 blah, blah, blah % will have this reaction. That's the one I'm probably going to have. My sister too, like she had Steven Johnson syndrome for something, which is like super rare.
Oh my
to
God.
ever have for anything, It's like we just open up the pamphlets, we go to the bottom, we're like, yeah, that's going to happen right there. I'm going to break out in a weird rash on my butt or whatever, like whatever it is, that's what's going to happen to me.
Well, my nurse practitioner, she actually has a daughter my exact age. I went to school with her daughter, and she was telling me as she's doing my IUD insertion, she's like, yeah, my daughter had to have hers replaced too. And they had to do a sonogram on hers because they couldn't find the wire.
They did a sonogram.
And they did a sonogram. Yes, because they knew there was something up with it. And yeah, this clinic, since it's a new specifically family planning clinic in town, and it's completely women run, and I know all the women that run it and work there, but it was funny because they were like, the nurse who was there, I didn't know her. I had never met her before, and she was lovely, but she was just afterwards, she's like, okay, just want to just sit up on the table. I'm going to sit here with you for a few minutes. You may have some bleeding, but I'm going to give you our phone number and you just text us. In fact, I'm going to give the nurse practitioner the texting phone so you can text her if you have any question. I wanted to be like, I'm 41. I know it's fine. Like, I'm not one of your 17-year-old patients. You don't have to, like, I know everybody that works here. I promise I'll call you if there's a problem. I've been to this rodeo more than once. It's totally fine.
Right.
But she was so sweet. She was just like, do you want any informational pamphlets? I'm like, no, I just want to go home. She was the sweetest woman. And I was like, they hired the right lady for this because she clearly loved her job. And she was, going through my whole medical history and just very very just kind and like, making sure I was completely comfortable. And, afterwards, can we get you something to eat? Are you okay? Like, I'm like, it's fine. I'm totally doped up on Valium, but that's why I brought a driver. And my driver was actually my pastor friend who's awesome. And she's on the board at this specific clinic. So she knows everybody there too. But yeah, right. It was better than my last experience because I took more Valium this time. So that worked out pretty good for me. It didn't, I wish I'd had some laughing gas. That would have been pretty awesome. But
I don't think that's really common at the gynecologist.
I wish it would be.
But they should really cross-apply that to a lot of different practices.
I think so, too. Laughing gas is the bomb, and you should be able to get it for everything.
I actually have a reaction to laughing gas because why wouldn't
you do?
I?
Why wouldn't you? Yeah.
It makes me anxious and makes me want to run in circles.
Oh, God.
But because I was like, it makes me feel weird. I was having my wisdom teeth removed. I just have stories for everything. I was having my wisdom teeth removed and they turned on the laughing gas. And I was like, I feel weird. And they were like, you're supposed to. And I said, no. I don't feel weird, like relaxed,
like good weird.
Or funny, or I feel anxious, like I want to rip the IV out and run in circles.
Oh, no.
And I mean, I articulated it and they were like, okay, cool, we'll turn it off. And so they turned it off and then they just gave me a sedative instead, which I prefer that. Are you kidding me? Knock me the fuck out. So, especially since, of course, I had a tooth break when they were removing the wisdom teeth. And so he had to actually do an incision across the top of my roof of my mouth.
And they had to remove half your head and like stitch up the side of your face.
That's why I have these wicked scars on my face, which make me so, distinguished looking. Yeah. But I cover it up with a comb over and a beard, so I'm all good.
It works out fine. Yeah, that's fine. That's why Donald Trump loves you so much, He
loves me so much. It's ridiculous.
He's such a good guy.
It's ridiculous. Like him. I can't quit the Donnie because he just loves me so much. And he doesn't love anyone except himself and his steaks.
Well, and no one's ever going to love you the way he loves you,
But he tells me, which means it's true, right? If someone tells you that no one's going to love you the way they do, that means it's real. And also, if they say that they're the best thing that ever happened to you, that also means it's real.
Yes, very much so.
For the younger people in our audience, those are not red flags.
That's called gaslighting.
No, those are signs of true love.
Yeah. This week I listened to the most recent Love It or Leave It podcast, and they did a great segment on gaslighting. They had this expert on gaslighting come on.
I didn't just divorce someone that did that to me.
It was I was thinking about you while I listened to the whole thing. Of course you were.
Because I was in a
perfect. Yes, it was. Yeah. Anyway, so kind of back to birth control. I actually had one other weird thing.
Sorry.
So,
I mean, I told you my lovely story. So
ladies, if you're listening, IUDs really aren't that bad. They do suck to have put in.
I also couldn't get an epidural. So, I mean, all the things.
I got an epidural both times, but it only halfway worked one of the times.
Yeah, but I had C-sections, and so they couldn't work halfway.
Yeah.
And they were like, because they check it, and I said, I can't feel anything on my right side, but I could feel it on my left side completely. And so the anesthesiologist came back in and did it again, punctured my spinal column, the spinal fluid, so I got a spinal migraine.
How are you not in a medical museum right now?
I don't know. And
are you donating your body to the Mutter Museum?
I'm totally fine. Like, the thing is I'm totally fine. Like, I'm in great health.
Define fine, though. That's subjective.
Time, as long as I don't get sick. And I haven't been sick in like 2 years.
As long as I don't get sick. Yep. Words to live by. That's how I feel most of the time. As long as I don't get sick. I was telling my husband today about my August schedule. I've got things going on like every fucking weekend. And and then I'm going to this conference, and then I have this thing, and then we're having this party. And he's like, are you sure you're going to be up for all that? And I'm like, it'll be fine. I'm just not going to think about it.
Mind your business, mister.
Shut up. I'm fine.
Tell me I'm pretty and put me to bed.
Yeah. When I got home from my IUD thing, I had guilted my mom into taking my younger son overnight. And it was so great because I could just lay there and watch TV and not get interrupted. And like I could go to bed when I wanted to because I didn't have to wait for that fucker to fall asleep.
On your account?
Yeah.
On my phone while I'm in training at work.
Mm-hmm. How far into it are you?
Training 5 days. Handmaid's Tale?
Handmaid's Tale. I don't give a shit about training. How far are you into The Handmaid's Tale?
Fuck you. I got it done. All right. I am... Hold on. Let me pull up your Hulu on my phone. The problem is because it's so dramatic of a show, it's dark, and my phone screen isn't really great.
It is, even on the TV, it's terrible. It is so dark all the time.
I just finished season 2, episode 5.
Oh, you're pretty close then.
If anyone hasn't seen it, please cover your ears or stop listening for 1 second. Spoiler alert. The one where Nick gets married.
Oh, to the child bride. Yeah.
Yeah. It's gross.
So creepy.
So yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah. That just gets way worse. So don't worry.
I like Nick though. I wasn't sure if he died because I can't recognize faces, and I was convinced he was playing with her.
I have mixed feelings on him, but we'll do a whole episode. I
had mixed feelings on him in the book.
Yeah,
honestly, I didn't like him in the book, but I mean,
I'm not a huge fan of his. So back to birth control.
I mean, that would help her a lot.
Yeah, it really would. As I've mentioned before, one of my 75 side hustles is the auction business. My husband and I do these auctions, and we come across all this weird ass shit that's from old people's houses. And my husband the other day, he's like, "Oh my God, you have to see this." And he brought me this vintage bottle of Lysol.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'm looking at it. Actually, I have it in my hand right now because I brought it home with me.
Take a picture of it. I will. Things. Okay.
Yeah, I know, but I can't do 5 things at once here.
Why not? I'm drinking. Okay,
hold on. I'm going to take this picture.
And I'm carrying the whole show. Let's be real.
That's true. You did have that epic IUD story. I think I just sent it twice accidentally, but
you're such a bitch.
Okay, you got it.
Can't even text right.
This is a vintage bottle of Lysol, and right on the front, I'm going to read the directions here. So Lysol brand disinfectant, deep cleans, deodorizes, disinfects. It's got your active ingredients in there. It says,
who'd you send it to?
Some bitch. It says other Amy on my phone. I don't know what that means.
It just says, because I couldn't remember what letter it was on because I had you under evil Amy. I had you under, not real Amy.
Yeah.
Or she who can't be named or must not be named. And so I couldn't remember where in the alphabet you were stored anymore. And so now you're just the first one. But my phone got stuck on evil. And so when I called you from my phone, my car got stuck on evil. So when I call you from my car, it automatically says evil. Just evil. Not evil Amy, just evil.
That's also Jesus trying to tell you something. Yeah, mine I have you down as other Amy now because it works.
It works.
Anyway, so this Lysol, it's for walls, floors, kitchens, sick rooms, baby's room, porcelain, linoleum, bathrooms, woodwork, floor tile, refuse pails.
Ebola or sick as in like that's tight? Like
no idea. Sick. Like sick room is, and it's all one word. That sick rooms. Like you've got sick people in the room. I have no idea. Okay. Refuse pails. So this is from back when we still called those refuse pails and not garbage cans, I guess. And diaper pails. And there's 2 different ways you can use it here. The first one says, as a douche, use 1 teaspoon of Lysol to each quart of warm water. Mix thoroughly in a separate container before pouring into douche bag.
Don't put it in your... Don't shoot that anywhere.
And for cleaning, it would be 2.5 tablespoons to each gallon of water cleaning solution.
Oh, fuck.
Or you can use it on cuts and scratches. But my husband saw the douche thing and he was like, oh my God,
you know who likes douches? Amy likes douches.
He was like, why would you put a household cleanser in a douche? And I'm like, dude,
I'm wondering why I'm not doing that.
Well, I happened to already know because, women's history is a hobby of mine, but women used to do that as birth control. Like that's before there was birth control.
And also there's that shame about our scent.
Our odor, yes. In fact, I found this great article online that I'm going to link in the show notes about Lysol's marketing back in like the 1920s. And they have just these god-awful ads that are all about women's odor and how it can affect your marriage. And there's like one of a woman trying to get into the bedroom and her husband won't let her in. And she's like, don't lock me out of the bedroom. And it's because of the odor. But then apparently, as I was reading this article I found about it, back then, most women knew that when they were talking about odor, it was like a euphemism for using it as birth control, that the marital problem they were talking about in the ads was that you could use it. Right. And the kicker is it didn't work as birth control at all, but at least women were shoving Lysol inside their vaginas after they had sex.
Was it, it didn't stop it though?
Didn't stop the baby from implanting?
Right.
No.
That's not how things work?
No, you can't just use Lysol. And I mean, what I think they used to do is right after sex, they would douche with the Lysol, and they were hoping that would kind of get everything out of there. And
I mean, I'm kind of naive that I would think that maybe it would work a little. Like if you caught it just right.
I used to think so too, and maybe it did once in a while, but according to the article I found, it really wasn't effective. But
well, you probably couldn't get it up high enough, honestly, because you would have like household things to shoot it up with.
Well, and if it probably only worked some of the time, so how do you really know
our body
if it's working
is really
or not?
acidic, and it probably fought it real fast.
Yeah, I just so last night I forced my 14-year-old to hear the whole story about why, because my husband brought this bottle home and he's like, you got to see this thing. And so I made my 14-year-old listen to a little women's history lesson about how women used to use this before they had birth control. And I had to explain to him what a douche was.
They did so many things too. Women have always done things to.
Yeah. So my 14-year-old boy was just cringing, looking at me going, why do I need to know this? Mm-hmm. Like, because you do.
No,
you need
it's
to be
true.
a woke man. Like it's an important part of history. You just know. But he just like 2 times was like, okay, I got, did I really need to know any of that? I'm like, yes, you did. Now you can't unsee it from your brain.
Well, because the thing is, men especially need to be aware of how women have been so put in corners that they felt like that was their only way out of something, was to shoot something up inside of themselves. Especially
when your whole life was at the mercy of if you were going to get pregnant again.
And I don't understand. This is what makes me so furious with religion, especially the one I left. Obviously, I have if you have a soft spot for something, what's the opposite? Like a really hard spot?
Like a hard...
I have a hard, angry ball for the Mormon Church. I think it's called
a hard dong, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, the hardest.
Yeah.
But I have a really hard spot for Mormonism especially, but also other religions, because I was in that same position. Mm-hmm. In the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. And that's fucked up that I was in that same position that women were back in like the 18 and 1900s.
Yeah. Your life is just at the mercy of if you're going to get pregnant or not.
And it was by design. I was put in that position by design. Mm-hmm. I was smart and told to not go get a college education. I've been ambitious my entire life, and I was told that my first job was to be a mom and stay home with the kids. Ugh. You know, I always felt like a square peg, just ramming myself into this place that I did not belong with someone that was not. I mean, I met him when I was 19 years old. Don't do the math, people. I met him when I was 19 years old, and we dated for maybe 3 months before we were married.
And it worked out great, right? Still together. I mean
well, the thing is it was okay, but I was never really, I don't think I ever was romantically
felt the way you should if you...
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
So, and then by the time you realize this, you're in a routine and you have, 3 kids and whatever. So...
And life gets a lot more complicated.
It's really, really complicated. And I'm a stay-home mom, and I have been for 16 years. So what the fuck do you do?
Yeah.
Like that's basically, and it was all by design. It was the way everything was laid out and everything was put in place to create that environment for females to be essentially stuck.
It keeps you from having any options, because then your whole life is revolving around how do I take care of these kids?
People lose their shit. When you take that option, you say, you know what, fuck this. Mm-hmm. And I did it. I filed. I can say that now. Yeah. I filed. Mm-hmm. And I went down and I did it. And I was the petitioner the entire time. And he was embarrassed and he was furious and his family all hates me. Mm-hmm. And I don't care.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is I was taking my voice back that was taken from me probably when I was born.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's amazing. I'm happy for you.
My attorney called me Calamity Jane. I told you that before.
Yep.
But she still wants to get paid, which is adorable because I don't have money.
No. I can give you lots of tips on dodging creditors. So, yeah, I'm pretty good at that.
I've been avoiding student loan people for years. I just keep taking classes.
Yeah.
So, I've been in school for 10 years.
But imagine doing that with an additional 10 kids. That would be totally...
Well, if I didn't have the traumatic pregnancies I did, I probably would have 5.
Yeah.
The thing is I'm really not someone... I don't know how many children I would have had organically if I had been allowed to be myself.
And for me, it was the opposite. Like having kids was
yours
never
was
something I
completely the
wanted to
opposite.
do. I wasn't raised. I mean,
you were
culturally,
able to think about it too.
Yeah, culturally, I was raised, just like everybody else is in this culture where you're expected to want to get married and expected to want to have babies and and that was really never my thing. So for me, having kids was kind of the opposite of your experience. It was
right.
like
me,
holy
it was
shit,
always
I agonized over
job.
it. And yeah, I had no intention of doing it. So when I did decide to do it, it was a huge decision for me.
Oh, and for me, I was like, hey, guess what? I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
What?
I can't even.
Okay, yeah. I was 22.
Oh, God. The thought of an accidental pregnancy terrifies me.
Oh, no, I was actively trying.
Yeah,
I'd already been married for 2.5 years at that point.
Oh, God. And
now I can't even wrap my brain around it. Now I'm almost 40. Well, and I can't even wrap my brain around that because I am so different than who I was when I was 22.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's one thing that really drives me.
We really shouldn't give uteruses to young girls. We should just wait until they pass test.
Yeah, wait till they're at least 25.
Show responsibility.
And then they can
earn access to their uterus.
Yeah, it enrages me that in this day and age, there should be no reason for a woman to have to get pregnant unintentionally. Like we have the technology to prevent this from happening. And the only reason we don't prevent it from happening is, religion, cultural standards, and lack of access to affordable fucking birth control. Like, there's so many people that are so anti-abortion and just that's their whole issue and that's all they care about. But God damn it, like the thing that would decrease abortion is we should be handing out birth control for free in all the high schools everywhere, in gas stations. There's so many methods. There's so many birth control methods that are available and that are out there that we need to teach kids how valuable it is to take care of your reproduction. Like I remember having so many friends as a teenager that would start taking birth control pills or start some form of birth control and go, but I gained some weight and I just quit taking it.
I didn't like how it made me feel. I threw up every day that I took birth control and I still took it for 3 years.
Yeah, because, it also really sucks being pregnant and then having a child for 18 years. But it's not, I don't blame those girls. I'm
pretty sure you have to have your kids longer than that because
I'm planning on kicking their ass out the door at 18. So.
I mean, I get that. I understand.
Yeah, although my oldest is going to live here till he's 45, so I've come to peace with that. It's fine. My younger one is
probably never going to leave.
My younger one's going to be a hobo and ride the rails and do comedy shows for a living.
Well, hey.
It's going to be a fun life, though.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, I can't really blame those teenagers for they're teenagers. They don't have developed brains. Of course, they're not thinking about it responsibly or logically, but that's why we should have the fucking birth control for free everywhere because maybe that they would use it. And it goes back to the education issue. We need to actually educate people and give them the tools to not have to worry about this. There's no reason that we have half of all pregnancies in America are unintended. Half. 50%. That is
we
too
should have
fucking many.
Complete control over our reproduction.
We should. And that's, no birth control is foolproof. Things are going to happen.
With my third, we were using, you're going to
Was it pull and pray? Tell me it was pull and pray.
Yep. And rhythm method.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, things got out of hand. One thing led to another. It was really, exciting one night, whatever. And and I said, what did you just do? And he was like, I got you pregnant. And yeah, he did. He did. Yeah.
Wow. I had to use the morning after pill while I was
started
pregnant.
School. That's when I just started school. I just started college and 2 weeks later I was throwing up all the time.
Oh, God.
I didn't quit though. I was like, fuck that. I'm still going. And I stayed. Yeah. But it was miserable.
You're a tough broad.
Having hyperemesis gravidum and being in school for my first semester.
Yeah.
Back after, 10 years out. So I didn't think I was, but I'm kind of starting to realize that I am a little tough. Just slightly. Just a little.
You're a lot tough.
Like a little, tiny percentage of tough.
Yeah. Can we talk about the morning after pill for a second too? Because
I think that's really important and it should be available.
We need
everywhere.
that in fucking candy machines everywhere too. And
I agree.
Does not.
It needs to be right next to the tampons.
Yep. It does not cause abortion. It delays ovulation. I had to take it one time while I was married because it was before we had
I didn't even think about it. I should have.
Yeah.
Well, obviously that's a really shitty thing to say now.
No,
but that's something that I didn't even realize was an option because no one talks about it. No one tells you about it.
No, we had been trying to get pregnant for like a year, and I had my Crohn's disease started acting up again. So my Crohn's was kicking in, and we just decided we need to quit trying because
you can't do both.
I can't do both. I gotta, but I wasn't back on the pill yet, and one thing led to another. And so I guess maybe I've had sex 3 times, but but it was like, I can't get pregnant now. And I just went, fortunately, I know everybody that works at every family planning clinic in town. So I went and got the morning after pill and took it. But people don't think about that. Like, it's not just 14-year-olds aren't taking the morning after pill like candy and aborting babies. Like, this is something that needs to be available for everybody. And you don't think about situations where, I was married. I was, if I had gotten pregnant, it would have been okay, but my body couldn't handle it at the moment, and that's fine. No. And I didn't have to feel any shame about that. I really should have
listened to my body more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But your body's telling you all kinds of fucked up things because your body is a hot mess. So
but it was right about things like, hey, don't do that.
Yeah, pregnancy's bad. It's not fun. Spoiler alert, if you've never been pregnant, it's not fucking fun. It's just...
I don't love it.
I don't recommend it. I mean, if you want to have a baby, it's probably one of the few ways to get one. But think twice. Right. That's all I'm saying.
Just go in with your eyes wide open and don't just sit there and be... My problem was because I was so young, my only experience with pregnancy was movies, basically.
Oh, yeah. Pregnancy's great in the movies. You just have the morning sickness and it's kind of cute, and that's how you know you're pregnant. And so I threw up a little bit and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then it didn't stop and I was like, okay, that's fun, stop now. Mm-hmm. And so I went to the doctor and she was like, well, some people don't react well and we need to watch you for this because you've lost a couple pounds. I'm like, well, okay. And then it wouldn't stop. It just doesn't, it didn't stop. And I was like, well, maybe if I stop eating this, or maybe if I only eat this, or maybe if I'm careful, like intermittent little teeny tiny meals. And people would tell me, well, try mint. So I tried mint. I tried fresh ginger and try this and try that. But did you try the lemon lollipops?
I tried lollipops. Yep. I didn't try lemon ones, but I tried the magnetic bracelets that are used for seasickness.
Yep.
I tried oil behind my ears. I tried pressure on my head. I tried everything. Anyone threw at me, and I was Mormon, so there was a lot of random MLM shit thrown at me. Of course I did. I got a blessing by the bishop of my ward. God. My dad gave me a blessing. I'm pretty sure he gave me a blessing. So it was. I tried everything, and of course nothing worked because it was chemical. Like it was literally a chemical reaction. My mother-in-law was like, just take a walk. I'm like, I can't pry myself off the couch.
That works for depression too.
Yeah. Just shake it off, Amy. Just,
take
just
a walk,
shake it.
Get some fresh air,
if
sunshine.
If you just think positively, then you won't be sad anymore.
And you won't get pregnant either, because that's the key to not getting pregnant is positive thinking.
The trick to chemical reactions is brain, which it actually is your brain, but it's chemical in your brain. So you need to change the chemicals in your body so it's different in your brain.
It's all about attitude. You just have to have the right attitude.
Well, that's what my husband actually told me. He only told me this once. So, I'm not going to hate him for this.
Yeah.
There's so many other, but no, he told me once, he was like, maybe it's all in your head. You're like, if you think that you're going to be sick, then maybe you're sick. I'm like, I never thought I was going to get this sick. It just happened. And then he realized that
was a shitty thing to say.
Legitimately sick. Well, he didn't. He'd never had experience with that either.
I suppose.
And at some point, you kind of think that people are just leaning into it, like they're just really, okay. So I have a kid that when you brush against him, he'll pratfall.
Yeah, I've got one of those too.
Exactly. It's probably the same kid that we're
probably. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like that, where some people really lean into the drama. They really lean into being sick. You know, they just kind of like, that's their identity. It becomes part of who they are. That's not what I was doing. I really wanted to live my life. I had a job. I had friends. I had a life.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be hanging over the toilet 24/7, you know?
Yeah. And I just, can you imagine going through that like 14, 15 times? I
literally would have died.
When I
There's
think
no
about,
question.
Yeah, I think about all the women through history, how relatively new it is that we can control when we get pregnant.
That's the thing, is we need to control that. We need to be in charge of our own bodies and in charge of our lives. We need to get houses. We need to get our credit fixed up. Well, that probably comes before the house. You need to get your credit in shape. You need to get a house. You need to get an education. You need to get a great job, then have a baby.
Yeah.
None of those things I did. I am now scrambling and trying to figure things out, and I'm almost 40 years old.
And you're doing it all while trying to take care of kids.
Well, and I just got a divorce, so my credit is already fucked.
Yeah.
So
I'm not even divorced and my credit's fucked, so don't feel too bad. It's okay.
I mean, mine wasn't great before.
It happens.
But
yeah. Oh, man. Birth control.
So,
Point is, get on all the birth controls.
It's you, not uterus.
Oh, now I need a mug that says that. Oh, my God.
Oh, and we're, should I just call him GC? Gentleman Caller?
Sure.
He and I are going to figure out the wine bottles this weekend because I have him until.
Oh, so because you didn't do it last time when
we cut and cut and cut and cut, and I poured boiling water and then ice cold water. And nothing happened.
Was this onto each other's bodies, or were you working with the glasses?
On the wine bottles.
Okay. I'll take your word for
they're
it.
all etched up, but I can't seem to get them to break. And so I need to watch more videos because I only watched one and some guy was doing it on the hood of a car. So I don't know how legit it was.
Will your gentleman caller volunteer to just let you break them over his head? I heard you can break bottles that way.
They won't break over.
Just try it.
Evenly.
I'm sure it's fine. No? You don't think so? Okay. So
I need to file the uneven edges so our lovely, lovely people can drink out of it if they want to.
You don't want them to cut their mouths on it?
I mean, I do, obviously. But
that
I don't want them to know they're going to. That could be the bitch part of delightful bitchcraft. You know, we send you jagged glass to drink out of. We're not going to send you jagged glass to drink out of. I refuse to send.
All right. You're no
Amy
fun.
the bitch will, but I won't.
I will. I'll send some secret jagged glass with every shipment.
Shit. Do not eat brownies from her.
Well, I don't bake, so you're not going to eat brownies from me anyway.
Glass.
Patreon.
Not weed, glass.
Not related to anything, but Patreon.
We have
up
them
here because we have some new patrons.
What?
New?
Yay!
Yes, 2 new ones.
That's awesome.
Yes. So I was just going to go ahead and run through this, and then I thought we could do one of our questions. But yeah, we've got 2 patrons. So we've got our $1 level, which our new patron, I swear to God, people, why are you sending me things I can't pronounce? Is it just to humiliate me? I don't know. I think this says Kuiper Belt Transport Space, .space, like .com, but .space. I don't know. It's Kuiper. Do you think that's Cooper or Kuiper? Kuiper Belt Transport .space.
I'm not sure.
Whatever that is.
However you're saying it is probably true.
Thank you so much for your $1 a month. We appreciate it no matter how you say or spell your name. I feel like that's not an official name. I feel like that might be the name of some sort of business or a screen name, but I could be totally wrong there. So I don't judge what people name their kids. So thank you so much for becoming a new patron. We've also got Jake, Jesse, EncyclopediaDumbAmerica.com, Wendy, and the By Any Means podcast. Thank you, Trav. Our $2 a month level, we've got Mr. Nathan Dickey, Dr. Dylan, Medical Detective, Kimberly, Rebecca, and Andy is our new $2 patron. And Andy,
Yay.
I know in real life, and he is amazing. I love him so much.
So good.
I met him through the local atheist group that I started years and years ago.
Wait, you don't believe in Jesus?
Oh, shit. Did I forget to tell you that? It's okay because I don't believe in Buddha either. So, or Muhammad.
I mean,
I'm equal opportunity.
I have Jesus in my heart.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Andy's amazing. He's been following us on the Twitters and sending us all kinds of funny tweets.
Good.
And
I have not seen any of that.
Him.
I need to do that.
Yeah, it has been working for Facebook. So when I post to Twitter, it usually goes to the Facebook page. So most of that shit's on Facebook. So you've probably seen it. He sent the one about how chameleons or some kind of lizard lived for centuries without dudes just fine. Yeah. He's a funny guy. I love Andy. Then we have, and I think he signed up to get the Conspiracy Chowder. So Conspiracy Chowder people, we have 3 episodes now. $4 a month, we've got Larry Yellingman of Man Yells at News podcast. It's late and I'm tired and my words are all mixed up. So, $5 a month, we've got Silly Goose, Amy's boring sister, who's at least better than my dickhead brother. So there's that. Yesh, Jerry, and Alan, thank you so much. And then $10 a month. Dwayne is in the $10 a month category now, so he'll be getting a soup bowl. Alice at the Ask and Tell Project, and Rich, one of our favorite Riches. They are all in the $10 level. One of. That. We like to keep him on the edge by keeping him guessing if he's our favorite Rich or not. He could be, could not be. I don't know. It depends on what kind of mood I'm in that day.
Depends on what he posts on the internet.
Right? I mean, he did subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Twitter, I think. I
know.
I could be wrong. I don't know if he's on Twitter.
It just goes against my nature to be nice.
I know. It's hard. And $20 a month Superstar patron Ashley, we love you. I actually checked our notifications on Patreon and we got a comment on our Conspiracy Chowder because our last Conspiracy Chowder we did was about 9/11. And so our patron Silly Goose left us a comment that says 9/11 was controlled by Sam Harris with his intense eye contact. I thought that was a very on-point comment. So yeah. You heard it here first. 9/11 was controlled by Sam Harris with his intense eye contact.
It's fair.
Yeah. So now you know. Those are our patrons. If you would like to join us on the Patreons, you can go to patreon.com/secularsoup. And we're at 21 patrons right now. 25 patrons is the point at which we do a live drunk cast on YouTube. So now that we have a YouTube channel, we could actually do that, but we need 4 more patrons at any level. So join us. I also jazzed up our website a little bit in the past few days. You can now find the Secular Soup Creed on the website so you can read along at home. So yeah, bit of housekeeping for you. I've been a busy bee. Pick a number and we'll do a question.
Okay, let me pick number 3.
Ooh, bold choice.
I know.
Bold
I just decided
choice.
to just
right at the front of the book there.
Right there. The best questions are in the front.
Okay.
Let's do this thing.
Ooh, this is a bit dark. If you were to die this evening with no opportunity to communicate with anyone, what would you most regret not having told someone? And why haven't you told them yet?
I mean, there's so many people I want to tell fuck you.
Right? Ugh.
My list is extensive.
I don't think I could make a list of all the people I want to tell fuck you. It would,
right?
That's all I'd ever work on.
That's all I do. Oh, and then, yeah. My family, I totally love them. I mean, I do. Like, totes.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I mean, I don't feel like I live
probably
the kind
start
of life
with all my
where,
ex-in-laws.
Yeah.
Just fuck you.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything good you would want to say to somebody that you haven't told them yet?
I mean, obviously, I would try to impart like last little nuggets of I love you and words of wisdom to my kids.
Right.
And this is going to sound super sappy, but I'd be really sad that I finally met someone that I really care about.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't get to spend any more time with them.
That would suck.
Because I feel like I wasted so much time with someone that was awful. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just all the fuck yous. I do the fuck yous first, though, because those are things I just don't say.
Yeah, so...
And if I knew I was going to die, I would be like, oh, okay.
I would go back to every single person that's ever hurt me and outline all the ways they've hurt me and hope they feel really bad and guilty about it. But otherwise, yeah, I would...
Expect a text.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
It's going to be a heavy texting night for both of us, I think.
Right? Everybody expect a text. If I have your number, I'm going to text you.
Rich, you are definitely getting a text.
Oh, for sure. He's getting 3 from me.
Getting all the texts.
At least.
I try to live the kind of life where I feel like my kids know that I love them.
That's exactly why I would start with the fuck yous, because I'm really bad at sharing negative feelings.
Like,
I'm very good at sharing. I mean, we've talked about this. I'm basically Minnesotan.
Mm-hmm.
Because
you're probably more Minnesotan than I am.
Because I just negative feelings, I just don't share them. Like I can be stressed the fuck out, and my gentleman caller will come over, and he's like, "What can I help with?" I'm like, "Oh, it's okay. Just go ahead and sit down." And I'm making dinner, and he's like, "No. You're stressed. You're upset. I can obviously tell. What can I do? Let me do something."
Yeah. Yeah, my husband occasionally will just be like, "Are you mad at me?" Because I think this is kind of a woman thing too, that we just
I also just keep it all on myself. I just pull it all in.
Yeah, hold it in, and then every once in a while he'll be like, "Did I do something?" Because I feel like maybe
apparently I've been waking up in the middle of the night really angry.
Oh no!
I know.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah, he's like, "You were really mad at me for some reason." I was like, "Well, you fell asleep really fast after you woke me up, and I was pissed."
Say, "Well, you shouldn't have cheated on me in my dream. Fuck you."
Oh yeah, I'm not there yet, but it's coming.
You'll get there. It's fine.
Trust me. Oh, trust me, it's coming.
You'll totally.
So yeah, that's what I would do is no. So I've said this on the show before. I'm sure. I found out that my mother-in-law was upset at me for something that happened during my wedding when I was 19 years old, and she's punished me for that for the past 18 years.
Yeah.
She would be my first phone. I wouldn't even text her. I would call her, and I would be like, "Listen, bitch.
Yeah.
Fuck you for making my life miserable from the moment I was 19. I was a child."
Yeah.
And she made me feel bad about myself.
Yeah.
So
that sounds like a good fuck you.
Oh,
I feel like I don't, all the people I want to tell to fuck off, I just avoid. So, but it would be fun to go around and just do a massive
my
fuck
kid's
you.
grandma, you know?
Yeah. That sucks.
Can't avoid her.
All right. Well, do we have, I'm trying to think of whatever things that I should have written down to mention that I didn't write down because I'm lazy. I mentioned the YouTube thing, the Twitter thing.
We're all good, I think.
I think we got it all. I've posted some interesting articles on the Twitters if you want to check those out. Apparently on YouTube, you have to have at least 100 subscribers before they'll let you have your own like URL, like YouTube/secular soup. So we can't get a custom thing until we get 100. So even if you hate YouTube and never watch it, just subscribe to us. You don't have to pay attention. Just like
you don't even have to watch it.
Just like the Sacrilege channel. I subscribe. Doesn't mean I watch. It's okay. You know? Just hit that subscribe button and then you can just ignore all the videos if you want. I don't care. I'm not going to. It won't hurt me.
Until we start showing real videos. Come on.
Then it'll be fun. Then everyone's going to want to watch. So,
well, I am delightful and you are super fun.
Yes.
They have no idea what they're missing.
Yeah. It's like our show is going to get like 150% better once it's on video. So we just need to get our shit together. We recorded video
just for ourselves and it was super fun to just watch you.
I know, right?
The whole time I was recording, it was just fun to watch you.
And it was fun for me to keep thinking, oh shit, she can see me? And I probably shouldn't be not paying attention and fidgeting and like grabbing
Well, I was
things.
on my phone and, you know, like whatever.
It's so much easier just to, you know, not listen to what you say when you can't see me. I can just play with things on my desk and unbend paper clips. And
I think both of us do that. We have periods of time where we kind of zone out and then we're like back in the conversation.
Shit, I'm supposed to be talking,
aren't
I?
On point now.
Wait, are we recording a podcast? I was thinking about something else.
Interesting. I'm going to close this up because
let's wrap this up. I'm tired. I need to sleep.
All right. Yeah, it's late. It really is.
Yeah.
Because I work so fucking late now.
Oh my God.
I will
At least it's not forever.
Later. Okay.
Yes. We can do that next week.
Yeah. And that's all we've got for now. Thanks to all our fabulous listeners who put up with us droning on week after week. If you enjoy our delightful bitchcraft, please like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and send us all of your monies on Patreon. You can find us on those platforms by using the Google machine. It's not hard.
God damn it. My cat is meowing.
It's okay.
Chappie, fuck off, Chappie. I would tell Chappie to fuck off before I die if I could.
Oh, for sure.
He's just standing around my chair going, meow.
Okay. Ooh, that's what. Okay, this week your donations will go to burner phones so we can send those anonymous text.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah.
If you want to tell the world how awful this episode was, dude.
Or the word. I don't care.
Whatever. Now I have that song in my head. Word is the word.
Oh, thanks a lot.
I know, right? Join our Secret Soup Talk Facebook group if you want to tell us to fuck off personally. God damn it.
You're having a really hard time with this.
I know. If you want to tell us to fuck off personally, you can send an email to secularsouppodcast@gmail.com. Please rate and review us on iTunes, Facebook, and wherever else you can review things like this. It will help us spread the soup gospel far and wide. And hey, tell your friends. As always, we'll leave you with the vocal stylings of Mr. Eli Bosnick.
Secular soup creed. Soup is the ultimate virtue. It's delicious, nutritious, patriarchy smashing, racism fighting, warm and fuzzy, human affirming, fun having, anti-theist, glitter throwing, tummy satisfying, pair of new shoes fulfilling, diversity seeking, happiness. Minestrone, beef and barley, chicken broth and split pea, gazpacho, tomato, clam chowder and potato, chicken noodle, beef noodle, egg drop and ramen cup, miso, gumbo, leek and pho. Grab a bowl and taste the magic. Slurp even this.